So Lamar's a character who's been building and building over the season, and we've had a taste of what his mental state is when he was released from the mental health facility, where he spent 2 years of his 4-year sentence. And he wasn't exactly in the best frame of mind going into the mental health facility either, and you can tell he definitely got worse. He ran over Meech when he got out of prison, and Terry thinks that he's the one who shot him, which I don't think they'll ever confirm, but it was probably Lamar. He sent J-Mo to his death by planting seeds of misinformation as well, and dealt with Flamel, and even scared him out of town when he went to go visit him in hospital. And we all saw what he did in today's episode. It was just very sad for Darius because he didn't deserve this, he didn't deserve being stabbed by Lamar, and it just shows you what kind of mental state Lamar's in. He's sick in the head. And for Slick, he was the one who stood up for Lamar when Tiny and the 12th Street Boys turned their back on him. He repaid Slick by stabbing him as well and leaving his body for Tiny to find. So we're going to be diving deeper into all things Lamar, his mindset, and also take a look at B-Mickie and Kato's relationship and whether or not he still has the gun which he shot J-Mo with. But of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything BMF and Power Universe related. And first I just want to come back to these quotes that the showrunner gave a few weeks ago, back when he spoke about Lamar's mental illness, because he gave a lot more background and context to why Lamar is the way he is. He said it's not just a drug show, we delve into the mental illness with Lamar. Back in the 1980s, when Reagan closed all those state-run mental health facilities, people like Lamar were released with nowhere else to go. He may have gone into the asylum thinking it was easier than prison, but he was probably mentally ill and got worse, and you can definitely see he's definitely getting worse and worse, especially when things don't go his way. But that's some background and context to Lamar's character and his mental illness. He wasn't in the best frame of minds before he went into the asylum, and he just ended up worse. We heard the story early on from Pat's boys, how he strung up someone and how he used to terrorize the neighborhood. Now the situation with Monique and Zoe hasn't helped his mental state either, but you could tell when he was with Mo and Zoe, you could see he does have this sort of calm side to him. He loves being with Mo and Zoe, but he's still sick in the head. The bedtime story that he gave to Zoe just before she went to sleep was of him attacking Meech's organization and stealing their stash. And even though we see this calm side to Lamar when he's with both of them, it doesn't last long because it only takes a moment for someone to trigger him, and when he's triggered and when he doesn't get what he wants, you definitely don't want to be in Lamar's way, as Slick found out today. Monique telling him that she'll get a court order on his nutty ass triggered him even more when he was already on edge with all the other shit that was going on with his stash being taken back by Meech and what went down with the 12th Street Boys. Of course, we all expected Lamar to hit back in this episode, but not the way he did, especially with Slick, because he's been there for him since he was released. He helped him get back into the good books with Monique. He told him that he needs to take more of a refined approach, and if he listened to him in this episode, then maybe he would have got back into the good books with Monique if he took more of a calm approach and was able to keep his cool, that is. Now Slick also helped him get control over the 12th Street Boys and even held it down when he was getting beat by B-Mickie and Terry. He didn't say a word about the stash until he was forced to. It was only when Meech gave him no option, when he said that he's gonna chop Zoe's head off and mail it to Lamar, or he gives up the stash. It's his choice, and that's the only reason he gave up the stash. But either way, he was fucked in this situation. Now Slick was the only man to stand by his side as well in this episode when Tiny and the 12th Street Boys all turned on him. And I got the question in the comment section, I don't understand why he killed Slick, and the simple answer to this is because he's just sick in the head. That's what it is. He's not in the right state of mind mentally. As we went through with his background, he was probably ill before he even stepped foot into the mental health facility, and he's just got worse. The moment we saw Slick trying to pack his bags and bounce the fuck out of there, we knew what was coming, and he just got rid of the one person that had his back, and now Lamar's on his own. Slick's gone. He's definitely not going to be welcomed back into the 12th Street Boys crew, and Monique won't accept him back either after Zoe was taken by Meech when it was his responsibility to pick her up from school. So we're going to see Lamar on his own, and he's going to be on a complete rampage now. A lot of us in the comment section couldn't believe he stabbed little Darius at the end, and I honestly was lost for words with the way Lamar stabbed him. It was honestly, there was just no need for it. He was an innocent kid who was just caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. And this is why Meech wanted his family to move and pack their bags and move to Ohio until things calmed down, because he knew what Lamar was capable of. But even though we're all saying Lamar has to go, and as much as I agree with the comments, the real life Lamar is still alive to this day. Meech actually makes his way to Atlanta, and Terry actually makes his way to Cali in the end, and I'm sure the real life Lamar ends up back in prison, and I'm sure they'll probably do the same with Lamar in BMF. I do think that the stud that Detective Howard found that belonged to J-Mo, which is a key piece of evidence that could very well be used and planted on Lamar to get him off the streets. If you've seen the trailer for next week, then I think we're going to see Detective Brian and Meech working together again and trying to get Lamar and maybe pin J-Mo's death on him. and now there's Slick's death and Darius as well. But just taking away Lamar's actions as a character, now the actor himself, you have to say he's played the perfect villain. He's done pretty much everything to regain power and the people that he loves. He's put fear into people, there's been some killing, cheating, hitting Meech and Terry's stash, and planting seeds of misinformation around the streets, which had J-Mo killed, because the streets were talking that he was the one who shot Terry in the first episode. He's done literally everything to make himself the perfect villain. And even though now he's all alone, it doesn't mean that he's gonna stop. He's still gonna come for Meech and Terry, and they need to make sure that they're well protected and make sure that their family is well protected, because the last thing they'll want is something to happen to Lucille, Charles or Nicole, because it could very well have been Nicole at the end of Lamar's knife. But let's move on and talk about B-Mickie and Kato's relationship, because this is something that won't end well, especially if you've seen the trailer for next week's episode, which I'll be running through in a bit more detail in tomorrow's video. But B-Mickie will be the one to find out that Kato's a rat, and you really can be blinded by love. I've said it time and time again on this channel with other situations and scenarios that have played out in other shows, that you can't trust anyone in this game. And B-Mickie definitely shouldn't be trusting Kato, but you could tell that he was developing some feelings for Kato when he said that what we're doing together. But as Kato's true colours come to light, then I have no doubt B-Mickie will be loyal to Meech and Terry. But one thing which I don't think he's done is got rid of the murder weapon, and I do agree with what Albert Myers said in the comment section. When Terry asked him if the gun that he had in his hand in today's episode was the gun that he popped J-Mo with, he told him that he ain't stupid. He tossed it in the river after he anchored J-Mo down. But fast forward to later on in the episode, we saw this scene with B-Mickie where he was cleaning his gun, and Kato asked him, "What is it with you and this damn gun? You almost look like you're dating it." And he told us that this gun saved his mother from an abusive relationship and watched over him countless nights, crossing enemy territory and sealed countless deals. And it's not just any old gun, it's family. And I went back over to check if it was the same gun that he used to kill J-Mo in episode 2, but it is really difficult to see if it is the same gun. But the way he was talking about this gun, I really wouldn't be surprised if it is the same one that he used to kill J-Mo with. He said it's sealed countless deals, and it's not just a gun, it's family, so it's been with him for a long time. And if it is the same gun, it's definitely a problem because it's another piece of evidence that could tie them to J-Mo's death. And that's the last thing Meech and Terry need right now. But that's just a rundown of 2 storylines in a bit more detail after today's episode, with Lamar killing Slick and Darius and B-Mickie and Kato, and him potentially still having the murder weapon. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on Lamar especially, because I agree with a lot of your comments. He has to go, but I don't think he's going to go quietly. He's going to cause a lot more chaos and make it really difficult for Meech and Terry to do business before he does go. If he hasn't got his territory back, and if he's not running shit, then he's not going to let Meech and Terry run it either. He's going to make life as difficult as possible for them. But drop all your comments down below on Lamar and whether you think B-Mickie still has a murder weapon as well. Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything BMF and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.